Good morning, this is Gina with Perfectly Imperfect Crafts by Gina. I haven't filmed a junk journal in a while. It's been so long, but I was motivated by my sister Martha, who made a junk journal with junk mail. So that motivated me to make this one. But before I show you all the details, I want to share with you some of the stuff that I used to make this journal. So the first thing is junk mail. We all get junk mail. And you know what? It's a good idea to go through it because there's so many nice pieces because of the nice chipboard. So sometimes you have a trifold. I think I included a trifold in this one. You get these single sheets of junk mail. Then of course all these cool envelopes, and you have these little vellum windows. Let's see, here's one that's nice because you have two of them. And then you just like to decorate them behind and then maybe add some photos or stickers or something like that. And I'll show you what I did. And this is just a plain envelope, so you can use those as well. And then just some more here. The other thing I did, I used a lot of price tags. When you have price tags, they are so nice because the chipboard is nice and hard, and so you already have a tag ready. All you have to do is decorate it. So I have a few here. I think I need to collect some more or go shopping. Of course, everyone loves to go shopping. And then this beautiful paper. I bought this from Temu and I love it. Not only did I get a lot of it, it's really nice paper and it has these really nice edges. So I included some of these edges in this journal. And then lastly, I like to take the paint chips off of my paint palette. Then I just glue them onto either some canvas or some watercolor paper. So now you have this really creative piece of material to use in a junk journal. But before I go further, I want to share a kind of a before and after video. The before video is what it looked like before I started decorating. I am sharing with you the beginning of my junk mail journal. So I'm going to briefly go through this. There are 11 envelopes in here, and it's on the base of a cereal box. I started with just putting everything together, so I'm really excited about how it's going to end up, but I wanted to show you a before picture. So let's see what happens. So here we go. I also want to share with you all of the wonderful pieces I used from Happy Mail. I get so happy when somebody sends me Happy Mail and they send me some extra crafts that they have or just beautiful items. So what's included in this junk journal comes from Terry with Talon's Place, Barbie with Barbie's Daily Rural Life, and my dear friend that I've known forever, Canny Crafter. So I'll go ahead and show you the pieces they sent me, and I'll be using their names throughout this flip through. So let's go ahead and get started. I use this really pretty lace ribbon to tie it, and in the back of it I reinforced it with some other materials so it's nice and strong. I think you can consider this a portfolio journal as well, just because it has a lot of flips and tucks. But let's go ahead and talk about the front cover. These are beautiful gel prints from Canny. She sent these to me months ago and I've been wanting to do something with them, and you're going to see her gel prints throughout. And I hope I'm calling it the right term because I don't ever do gel prints, but I was so fortunate that she sent me a bunch. And then here on the left side, you can see the beautiful chip paint that I was talking about. And then I'm going to pull this up closer. This is one of the paper dolls that Terry gave me, and I think they're called Julie Nutting Doll Collection. And I also used a lot of magazine pieces, so it says Gleam On Front Row. So let's go ahead and start on this side first. Here on this first page, you can see this is a junk mail envelope because here's a vellum. And behind this, when Terry sent me that wonderful Happy Mail, she put it in this really decorative bag. So I used this bag design all throughout this journal. And then I put positive affirmations. So it says, take risks, be amazed, and stay strong. And then I used some of that edging from that paper I showed you earlier. And then around here is a place to journal. Then I have the price tags. All you have to do is just cover them with some really decorative material and then just add some ribbon. So I'm going to tuck those in. For this page, and I don't know if they're really pages, but I'll refer to them as pages, this is another piece of junk mail. So here's the front end and here's the back end. I went ahead and added some more scrapbook paper here to make a little tuck, and then right here is that edging from the paper. for this tuck, more junk mail, nice checkboard, and I put fresh files and then that really pretty paper from Temu, and I also have a bunch of coffee stickers, so I put those throughout. And on this side, that's another gel print from Canny. Isn't that just so pretty? And then some edging. Let's go ahead and turn the page. So this is the front end of the envelope, and then these two vellum windows say, a party without cake is just a meeting, and this one says, creativity takes courage, and then I just put some scrapbook paper behind that. And then I put a little bit of canvas here, and I forgot to add that I also used coffee themed paper. I just kind of put everything together, and that's how I create my journals. So for this envelope here on the back side, beautiful gel prints from Canny, and this beautiful paper doll from Terry, and it says in good company. And for this gel print, I split it between the two pages. So I'm going to flip this over, and there's the other side of it. And then what I decided to do was make it a 2 envelope spread. Up here is canvas, place to journal your memory, some of that really nice Temu paper, and it says start doing things you love. And then for these window envelopes, I say stay curious and be brave. And this pretty row of faux gems came from Barbie. Paper behind that she sent me when we were doing ATC trades. Isn't that paper just beautiful? Okay, now let's flip over. For this envelope here, I went ahead and made a tuck within the envelope. You can see right here is a vellum window, and that says just breathe, enjoy today, and XOXO. And when I found this magazine piece, I thought it was cute because it had vintage photos, and then I put generations here. So for this first tuck right here, for this junk mail, I think it was one of those Chase brochures because it has a trifold. So when you open it up, I did a little bit of that coffee themed paper to put as the background. I added this sticker here because I thought it would be cute to put on the stove. This is from a magazine. And then I use this one like first thing in the morning. I think this is a camper. And then I put awake, so you wake up with your cup of coffee. Front has why we travel, place to add photos. The back has post, and this inside flap has just a layout where you can put photos and memories. The other thing I did was not only did I include a flip here, I glued it onto this other envelope, and then you have another pull out. And right here on the corner is one of those beautiful paper dolls. And from the magazine it says, picture perfect, still the hottest spot. And I really like those edging from that paper. So you have plenty of room to add photos and journal. On this side, here's that beautiful paper from Barbie, and it says, keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. And then here's that really cool paper, so you can add photos. All right, let's move on to this next envelope. This one's a larger one. I'm not as happy with this one because what I used behind this vellum window was something too dark for this page. But I do have a pull-out, and the coffee scrapbook paper was so large, so I cut out coffee and I just kind of squeezed it together. And here on the top from the magazine, it says where it all comes together. So let me pull out this. This is definitely junk mail, nice chipboard. And this is simple. I just added one of those pretty papers, and then I left this blank, and then you have a little tab right here. On this side of that big envelope, I like these sayings from magazines. It says Farmer's Market Guide and Buy, Sell, and Trade. For this paper, I actually slit it here and then made it a tuck. And then I put a place here for you can journal the memory. And then here's some more price tags, nice and sturdy. I'm going to close that up. For this section, this has a lot of the stuff that Barbie sent me. Right here is that row of faux gems, and this is a pretty paper that she sent me, and I added this really nice material so you can still put a photo there. And because this looked elegant, I used one of Terry's really elegant paper dolls. I just felt this fit with the theme. When you flip this open, here's some more of that beautiful paper. I'm going to do a close-up because it has a really pretty glimmer. That came from a magazine. It says without boundaries, place to add photos. I did add a lot of butterflies. Up here is room to add a photo or some more memories. And the inside of this vellum envelope is actually from Canny. It's one of her gel prints. And it says right here, miracles happen when you believe. So I guess this section includes something from Terry, Barbie, and Canny. Okay, we're almost done. For the back end of this envelope, I just used my extra scrapbook paper, and then I did a little collage. This came from a magazine from behind the coffee bar, and this says Imagine, Beauty, Delightful, and Grow. So this girl right here from a magazine, it looks like she's looking up, so it'd be fun to put some photos there. In between this journal, I had really wide margins because I wanted to be able to flip these envelopes and not make it too bulky. And then there's also a place to journal the memory. This envelope has a larger Venom window, and this is one I actually included a tuck. Behind is that really pretty bag that Terry sent me that had those cool designs. And then here's a little tag. I used material tabs on these because I was so close to the edge right here. And inside of this envelope, I have another tag. So this first side is a little bit simpler. On the back, you can see Canny's really pretty gel prints. And then here at the bottom is that beautiful creative bag that Terry sent me. And it says, "Enjoy the cozy life." For the back of this envelope, I just put just the facts. I just like that with a man standing over an edge. And then for this envelope, here on this vellum window, in the background is Barbie's pretty paper and another beautiful paper doll from Terry. And then you have places here to add photos. So what I did with these two envelopes, I had side tucks, but because of this edge, I glued that up and then I made a tuck for the top. So when you pull this up, I just used all my extra scrapbook papers that I was using and I just did a collage on it. So you can still add a lot of photos and memories on it. And I'm going to turn it over. Here's some more beautiful gel prints and then events from a magazine. And here's that creative bag that Terry sent me. And then I just added this lady with glasses on it. And then here's a place to journal. And when you pull this out, same thing, I just used the extra scrapbook paper, which leaves plenty of rooms to add memories. The back of this envelope, more beautiful gel prints. And then I put this really pretty material here for a little tuck. And here's just another tag. And it says Imagine right there on the end. And I wrote Dear Grumpy because I hear, and I don't know if that's my case, but when you wake up in the morning, people can be grumpy before they have their cup of coffee. So I thought that might be fitting for this journal. So it says Dear Grumpy, and I added this really pretty material. And the last page, just a simple layout, just to add some photo and memories. So thank you so much for watching this all the way through. I greatly appreciate it. And if you like this video, if you can please give me a thumbs up, that means the world to me. And I love, love, love to get comments. So if you have created something like this before, or if you have a journal you want to share, if you can add it in the comments below, I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.